Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. By using our link, you can get 10% off your first month of therapy. So, Naz, as a therapist on BetterHelp, what has your experience been like?
I've been doing it since January 2021, and it's been really fun and exciting. I've been able to reach clients all over the United States and the world. I've had good relationships. I've had folks that I've had for a couple months and a good handful where I've had for almost 2 years now. So it's magnificent. I've enjoyed my time and my clients. I love them.
Awesome. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel the most comfortable. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/DSP or choose Different Spectrums podcast during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Hey everybody, we back again.
Hey, we're back. We're live.
I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Dr. Baldhead Nas. Student said, "Where'd your hair go?" I said, "It's been gone since 9th grade. What are you talking about?"
Sad. those yearbook photos. Remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. It's completely up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, before we get into the movie, we have a special guest for today. She is a 2024 Paris Olympian and also bronze medalist. USA, USA, USA.
God.
Sorry, had to do it. Also, she is a Lego master and a really chill person. Please welcome to the show, Sammy Sullivan.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Also, have to correct you. I'm not a Lego master just yet. That's a pretty high up there title.
I'm just saying,
Lego mega fan.
If Lego sends you an Eiffel Tower, you're a Lego master. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but you know.
I know, girl. They sending you the Eiffel Tower
and a picture of yourself in Lego form.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. It was probably the second or third best day of my life.
I'm telling you,
opening that package up. Yeah.
What was the first?
First, I feel like I have to, like, I'm obligated to say getting married.
Fair. Yeah. All right.
And then
he's not watching. He's not going to watch this. Don't worry about it. He's not going to watch this.
And then second is winning the bronze medal at the Paris Olympics.
Jesus Christ! So you've hit all these climaxes within like a month.
Just back to back.
Literally the best 4 weeks of my life. So I don't know how it can get better from here. We'll see.
So we just coasting from here on, or is it all go downhill from now? I wonder what your brain is doing to you.
Yeah, I mean, that has been on my mind. It's like, man, I accomplished my dreams.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get some healing today, folks. We get some healing.
That's right. We're going to have some tears. All right. Anyways, today we are covering the movie Inside Out 2, which is a very popular movie, made $1 billion in the box office. So it must be good. But some topics that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about anxiety. We're going to be talking about emotional expression. We're going to be talking about teammates. We're also going to be talking about being accepted by friends. Yeah. Yeah, that's 4. And then we're also going to be talking about grounding techniques and, just anxiety in adults. So, some good stuff. Nas, anything before we get into the show?
We got a lot of topics to get through. A lot of stuff. The goal is to make Sammy cry.
It's honestly an easy goal to achieve. So
I don't like failure, so that's good.
Yes, we did it.
Completely joking. A lot of different things wrapped up in this. We're going to show 2 scenes specifically. One that's like the build up to the last like gargantuan of a scene with emotions. So there's many very subtle things in it. So hopefully folks are getting and using that visual. We talk about a lot about emotions on this podcast, obviously anxiety, depression, belief, obviously, right. This being a neurodivergent autistic podcast focused, but always mental health focused. Identity and beliefs can be really messed up for a lot of us, specifically if you're neurodivergent, meaning anxiety, depression, OCD, ADHD, autism, all of it. So the identity can be really messed up, especially when you're changing it to fit others. So magnificent scene that ends with a really good healing, of course, by friendship and community. So no surprise there. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun. I did cry while watching it. Sammy did. And, Spencer's cold as ice. So he probably just said, this is stupid.
I'm as cold as ice.
Straight man. Let's do it. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey, look at that.
There you go. Anxiety got her.
Oh my gosh.
She clutches
Stop looking
her
at me.
pearls.
Oh, my Lanta.
Oh, all right. Let's do it, folks.
There it is!
I'm a good person.
Oh no! Yes, come on! Here we go!
I'm not good enough.
What?
I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough.
Don't worry. It's just that she knows that there's always room for self-improvement. She'll be fine.
Sadness, we have the sense of self. Bring us back. Sadness, you copy.
I'm not good enough.
Okay, I can work with this. I just need to recalibrate the console and make sure it's ready. Just no more surprises. Okay, this one goes here. Check. Goes there. Check. Not exactly there. Here. Turn it up a little bit. It's gotta be absolutely perfect. That one is definitely wrong. What is
Sadness, now!
Joy?
I'm a good person. I'm not good enough.
Grace, are you okay? We heard Grace. It all happened so fast. I didn't even see her.
I'm not good enough.
Oh no, what did I do? No. I can fix it.
expected better, Riley.
What? No! Come on.
I'm not good enough. Come on, Riley. Get it together.
Come on, Riley, get it together.
I'm not good enough.
You have to score, Riley, or this will all have been for nothing.
Anxiety, you're putting too much pressure on her. You don't get to choose who Riley is. Anxiety? You need to let her go.
I'm a good person.
Joy, I'm sorry. I was just trying to protect her. But you're right. We don't get to choose who Riley is.
We keep the best and toss the rest.
I'm a good person.
Joy, what are you doing?
I'm selfish. I'm kind. I'm not good enough. I'm a good person. I need to fit in, but I want to be myself. I'm brave, but I get scared. Success is everything.
I make mistakes.
I'm nice. I'm mean. I'm a good friend. I'm a terrible friend. I am strong. I need help sometimes.
Riley, you okay?
Yeah. I mean, no. I was such a jerk to you guys. When you guys told me you were going to a different school, I freaked out. And I'm so sorry. If you don't want to be friends anymore, I get it. But I really hope that you can forgive me. Someday.
Come on. We've got a game to finish.
Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about our new collaborator, Toink Toys. They have a wide selection of, you guessed it, toys and other great collectibles. They have products from Marvel, Star Wars, Harry Potter, and everything pop culture. You could say they put the toy in Toink. So go check them out at toink.com and use our code Different Spectrums Podcast to get 10% off your entire order today. And we're back again.
Sammy, why'd you make that face? Did I just scare you with my no neck?
Well, I'm just waiting for someone to talk.
Oh,
So much silence, I can't handle it.
You're one of them.
Also, you pointed this way, and I'm like, am I there on his side?
No,
or-
that's
It's
him.
me.
I was pointing to him to take it.
You're
Oh.
so anxious, Sammy.
I'm keeping all this. All right, we back and we live. Spencer didn't even say his part.
I did, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we're live, just as the anxiety-riddled Sammy Sullivan.
Sammy,
It's me.
it's you.
It's me, Pinocchio. That's all I could think of.
Oh,
that was the creepiest
It's
shit.
Mario.
Mario?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
Mario.
it's Mario.
No,
Yeah, not Pinocchio.
It's a two.
Pinocchio did not have an Italian accent. Believe it or
Yeah.
not, he didn't.
Pinocchio's Italian.
No, his father's
No, he's
Italian.
a puppet.
Yeah.
He's from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
He's made of wood.
So what you're saying is you racist against all wood people.
Oh,
Okay.
my
Whoa,
God.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
No,
whoa,
no,
whoa, whoa,
I'm
whoa,
sorry.
whoa,
Why
whoa,
would you
whoa.
say that?
The wooden people, the wooden tribe take offense.
Okay.
Isn't that
Sorry, wooden people. Sorry.
isn't that the thing in Lord of the Rings, or is it where's the wooden guys that talk through the forest? The big trees? The trees, yeah.
The wooden guys.
Is it Harry
The
Potter
wooden
with the
guys?
trees that talk?
No, it's Lord of the Rings.
it's Lord of the Rings. I know
Yeah,
my
yeah.
nerddom.
And Wizard of Oz. So
Yeah, I was thinking Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
both good answers. So
I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up now.
all right. Well, welcome, Sammy. Welcome to
Thank
the
you.
show. Thanks for coming. And please come back. First question I want to ask, probably the toughest question that we're gonna ask today. How'd you get into Legos?
Oh man, I got into Lego building. Well, I used to when I was really young. I had all the SpongeBob sets, and I got into Lego sets because at the start of my second season, at the start of my second season, I was feeling really down after practices because I was just, not doing as well as I did my first season, and yeah, I was just getting really down on myself rewatching practice over and over again. And I thought instead of spiraling every night, I should turn my attention to something else. And that became Lego sets. And yeah, it's brought so much joy to my life, and I've never looked back. and now my whole house is full of them. So
What year was it when you turned to the dark side?
last year, literally last year.
Oh.
I have 45 plus sets already, so a lot of my money has gone there this last year.
Does this mean that you're extremely anxious if you're building that many sets?
Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't
I
stop.
mean, well, it started with that and then turned
Now it's
into
fun.
just an
Yeah.
obsessive hobby.
Yeah, it's just fun.
It's just fun, but still very helpful. I brought Lego sets with me to the Olympics. I had like 3
Nice.
sets in my bag, so yeah.
And do you like it when folks help you out and like join in, and or no, you like to be solo dolo?
I like solo dolo. My husband also builds Lego sets. He does a lot of the Star Wars sets. And I feel like every 5 minutes he's like, I'm missing a piece, and it's just somewhere on the ground or somewhere in the couch. So I don't trust him with my sets most of the time.
Trust issues with Legos.
Yes, 100%.
What you saying? He's dumb. Okay,
No.
I know.
No.
I said it for you. It's fine.
He's brick challenged. Lego brick challenged.
That's very good.
It was good. That was good. Brick challenge today.
Josh, I love you. If you heard that, I love you. He said, wow.
Hey, wow. Today, Spence. I said, you know what? I looked at it. I said, so we met a couple years ago. Kid was like, yeah. Well, I said, looks like we talked about autism, this and that. So they're coming back to do the full assessment. And I said, so autism's a spectrum, right? You got one set that's eating Legos. And she fucking loses it. Why would you say that? And I was like, I don't know, man.
You're just on the brain.
She literally paused for like a few minutes and just laughed. It was magnificent. I say that joke all the time, but like she never heard it. Besides the point. So you've been doing it for a year. Does anyone think that you're weird because of Legos and like doing it? Because some people bully me and Spence about it.
I feel like I was talking with my teammates about this. I feel like cringe or weird is you could be doing anything, and if people like you and like they know you and they're your friend, cringy things aren't seen as cringe. But if you're judging someone on the internet or a stranger, something they're doing could be cringe. So I think to be cringe is to be free. And all my teammates and friends know and love me. So they all are very supportive of my Lego building habits. But I'm sure there's haters on the internet that think it's cringe.
Always will be.
Sammy dropping dimes. Okay.
Yeah, that's their perspective. And it's the wrong one, but it's their perspective.
All right. What you got?
Moving on. Well, I have to ask also, I'm going to stay on Legos a little bit. What is like your holy grail of like a Lego set? Like, what's the one that you really want, but you haven't gotten it yet?
The holy grail for me right now. There's probably 2. I have the newer Disney castle, but the Lego group made another big Disney castle that was discontinued. So I really want to get that discontinued set just to have both of them. And I think I have to say the Millennium Falcon, like the big Millennium Falcon, because or the Death Star, either one of those, just like the Mac Daddy sets,
Yeah.
Mac Daddy? All right.
Mac Daddy sets. That's what they are.
What was the guy from WWE? The guy, was he Mac Daddy? It was the pimp guy. What was his name?
I actually can't remember.
Oh no, I'm not gonna say what race he was. I'm not getting into that. But he was a pimp. I'm not gonna play to what stereotype the '90s were pitching there. I feel like it has something to do with a Mac Daddy.
You're asking the wrong person about 90s WWE.
Not a wrestling fan there, Sammy.
Yeah, not particularly, but
yeah, it's fine. We're gonna get back on track. So Millennium Falcon, right? I feel like that's a big one for a lot of folks. Spence, what the hell's yours?
Oh man. It probably would be like the big because they had like different sizes of a
Yep.
Millennium
Yeah.
Falcon. And so I had the smaller one. I would love to get the huge
The
one and
table
just
one.
yeah, it's just a big old boy. Yeah, it's great. That's definitely one.
There you
What
go.
about you, Nuts?
I'm trying to think. Like, I like all those ones that are there, but I'm also like, my ass is like, where am I going to put these at?
Yeah,
Like,
that's always the question.
yeah. And then you see like these awesome rooms and these castles with all these folks putting their stuff in there. I'm like, I'm out of room in the house. So anymore. And they're going to be like, we taking your kids because it's you're a hoarder.
Yeah, it's getting to that level here.
I'm sure it
but-
is. I'm sure it is. I don't know, man. It's close. I'm not even the biggest fan in some of the some of the Harry Potter stuff. Some of them Harry Potter ones, the castle ones, are nuts. Nuts. The Hedwig one, it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, that one's cute.
The big AT-AT
Hogwarts.
one, I think is like bonkers too. Like for some
Oh,
reason,
yeah.
I just like that it can be somewhat movable.
Yeah.
So there's some cool ones. The Eiffel Tower one, I remember seeing that at the Lego store, and I was like, yeah,
It's huge.
it is. Where is that going to go in your house?
Okay. Me and my husband are actually moving into a 2-bedroom apartment next month.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say so it's so I can have a dedicated Lego room, but it's so I can have a dedicated Lego room. So it will live in there. Right now it's gonna live on my kitchen island.
Okay.
But yeah.
You should try to get a sponsorship with Lego.
It might happen.
Am I? Oh, is
We'll
it?
see.
We're talking. Isn't it? You heard it here, folks. You heard it
Hey,
here.
No,
Sammy,
no.
Sammy,
Everyone at Lego
At
get
Legos.
Sammy Sullivan,
Yep.
sponsored by Lego.
10% off.
Don't 10%.
Yeah, use my discount code.
Yep.
That's
No.
That's coming,
That's
boy.
taxes.
It's coming. Hey, if anyone deserves it, it's you, homie. Just because
Oh,
of
yeah.
your
Oh,
presence.
thank you.
Yeah, I'll gas you
Thank
up
you
later.
so
That'll probably
much.
make you cry, but like I'll gas you up later. I love talking about these nerdy things, man. It doesn't always have to be mental health all the time. Because we're talking about what makes us feel good. What are your coping skills? What connects you to your partner? What connects you to your teammates? And then how this weird thing could be seen from other people, right, as a bad thing, but other people, you accept them. So I work with this with clients all the time. I mean, if they hate you for this, then they're the pieces of shit. It's not you. They're the ones that are judging, being negative or projecting, right? And so everything that you said today has a mental health touch to it. So I just wanted to clarify your statements for the folks that may just think that we're having fun. All right, Spence, what else you got? Lego King.
How'd it do? You just got back from Paris, where you won a bronze medal in rugby. And in the pre-production, you're talking about your teammates. Are there any stories that kind of stand out for you during the Olympics?
Man, I kind of talked about this on my Instagram, but the fact that one of my teammates, Christy Kershey, is just an absolute workhorse, and she played every minute of every game that we had, which is very hard to do. Rugby is a very tough sport on your body, so for her to play that whole time, and I think right when we won, I was actually off. I'd gotten subbed off like a minute and a half left in the final game. And the first thing I did was run over to her and we just both cried. Like as soon as I made eye contact with her, I started crying. And she's like definitely, I always call her my like homing beacon or my grounding person on the field, because I always know she's gonna know exactly how I feel because she's always on the field. So yeah, that like hug and cry was probably one of my favorites. And then what else from then? This was kind of horrible. So once we won and we did the bronze medal presentation, it's like we're do the whole podium thing.
Yeah.
I got flagged to be drug tested. So I had to, you pee in a cup, and athletes know this, like they test you for performance enhancing stuff, whatever.
Mhm.
And yeah, so while everybody's like going to celebrate with their family, I'm sitting in a room. Of course, anxiety filled me like, oh my gosh, I have to pee right now, or I'm not going to get to see my family. They're going to close the stadium. So then, of course, I say I have to go. I get there, partial sample, don't fill the cup up all the way. So I'm like freaking out. My mom's calling me over and over. And yeah, so it just felt very fitting that of all people, I would get flagged and then anxiety about it and like not even be able to celebrate
Hey,
right afterwards. But
I guess at least you'll remember it.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, Lou, my P lady, I was just like, Lou, we got to go see my family. Come along, because you can't be left alone
Yeah. Yep.
once you get flagged. So I was like, Lou, let's go see
Family.
my family.
Bring the pee.
Mm.
Bring
then
the
I'll
cup
come
of
back
pee
and
and we'll
pee.
fill it up on the way.
Wait. No, they like locked it up in a fridge and we went and said,
Okay.
what's up?
It's still there.
Wow.
Maybe. I don't know where it is. But there we go.
Yep. I mean, that's
Wow.
and so you heard it here. Tested positive.
No.
Tested positive for Legos.
Yes.
Yep.
Tested positive.
There you go.
I know.
Like
And PEDs.
No.
No, LEG. How do you spell Lego? LEGOS?
Yeah, yeah.
You know I got dyslexia. You know I'm disabled. Tested positive for the leg. Go. Okay, forget it. Now, bro, that's traumatizing. So when you finally got back to all the folks, the family, were you crying or were you like, you got grounded as soon as you saw them? What the hell happened?
No, I was still in the back of my mind, like thinking about the pee. So I was just like, hey
As one does.
guys, cool, take a picture. Yes. Hi, love you all. I gotta go. So
Gotta go
yeah,
pee.
wasn't very present in the moment, but got to celebrate with them all the next day, which was way more fun. So
There you
That's
go.
good. Yeah.
That's
All
awesome.
right.
That's a story there, boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
A quick pivot. What was your favorite off the field memory of Paris? I mean, I'm sure that you were there for a minute. Anything off the field? Did you get any chicken nuggets?
Did I get any chicken nuggets?
You
I didn't
don't
get
have-
any
you
chicken
don't
nuggets
have to
when I
answer
was
that
there.
one.
That's
Jesus.
bullshit.
Sorry, yeah, that just I
How dare
Threw
you?
got
you
thrown
off.
off by that.
I know.
Them chicken nuggies, you know, they get you.
They do.
Any favorite off the
Probably
field?
getting probably getting a tattoo while I was there. I got a little stamp tattoo. Of course, I'm wearing a long sleeve right now, but it's a little stamp with the Eiffel Tower and then an outline of the bronze medal. Yeah, I haven't gotten the rings tattooed yet, but yeah, it was just cool to get a tattoo in Paris during the Olympics.
There
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
dope.
There
That's
you
dope.
Random question.
Huh?
Where'd you get proposed to? Was it like a year ago, 2 years ago? Was it, at McDonald's? Was it at a game?
Yeah. It was 2 years ago in Joshua Tree National Park.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just him and me, sunset in the background, very, very romantic, very amazing.
I know.
Yeah, and his name is Josh, so it makes sense it was at Joshua Tree.
There you go.
That tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you a big hiker and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, I love hiking. Before I lived in California, I lived in Colorado, and
Wow.
yeah, that's what I would do like almost every weekend.
There you go.
Is just hike around. Nice to be in nature, touch grass, all that. Yeah.
Not making Legos all the time.
Yeah.
Gotta touch grass.
Yeah, I gotta touch grass every now and again.
I exercise too. Remember, people, exercise too. Remember.
Literally talking to a bronze medalist.
That's awesome. Thank you for humoring me.
Yeah. So kind of moving on from the Legos. So we know that athletes are creatures of habit, that, you go through routines, you go through rituals to get yourself just in the right mindset before a match or a game. Do you have any pregame rituals that you do before a match?
I always put my left cleat on before my right cleat. And then in rugby, you tape basically like, I don't know, they're called nubbins, but you tape line out tape so people can lift you up. And I do the same thing left
Okay.
to right.
Okay.
And as a team, before every game, we take these shots of basically electrolytes.
Okay. Good pivot.
And
Good pivot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Electrolytes. But we always play shots by Lil Jon and LMFAO and like sing the first verse, and then we cheers and take the shots together.
That's fun.
Yeah, so that's my favorite ritual of all time. I hope that never goes away on the team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it grounding? Having that familiarity, that repetitiveness?
100%. Like no matter how the last game went, because sevens is very quick. You play 6 games in a weekend, and sometimes you have to get over a big loss
Wow.
in an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it's always good to kind of have that fun, not so serious moment right before a game to kind of just, make you feel loose and less, oh gosh, we have to win this game because we lost that game. So yeah, definitely grounding
Buys
and
you
just relaxing.
buys you a moment, buys you a few moments of like humanity instead of the overall anxiety and
100%.
pressure, which we'll get into in the scene. Okay.
All right. So this is a question that we're starting to ask all of our guests once they come on, but we all have films that we get a little comfort from, that we get, that we're going through a certain emotion. For me, I loved watching Flubber as a kid, just popping that in anytime I wanted to laugh, Flubber. But do you have any movies or shows that you use to help regulate any type of emotions that you're going through?
Yeah. And that's funny actually, because I've always been a rewatcher person. Like I'll rewatch movies over and over again, rewatch shows over and over again. And I saw somewhere on the internet, like, oh yeah, people with anxiety like to rewatch things because they know what's going to happen in it. And I was like, whoa, is that why I do that? But man, I'd say my comfort movies are Up, Interstellar. My comfort shows are Parks and Rec, The Office. Huh? Bluey. Bluey is
Bluey.
also
You got kids?
no.
Oh damn! Well, you just is one. Oh, I got you, girl. You're a kid now.
And another kid show I love is We Bare Bears. So cute.
Okay. So is that the overall thing? Like, what's the go-to when you need to go to sleep?
Go to when I need to go to sleep. Man, that one kind of switches up.
Okay.
Usually a Disney movie. Last night it was Lion King. Sometimes it's Ratatouille.
Oh, we did Ratatouille. Of course, we did Lion King.
I love Ratatouille. Yeah.
Ratatouille's
but
good.
really just like kids movies.
Yep. Easy. Have you rewatched any of the old 90s movies? We've been rewatching the old 90s movies like Sandlot,
Like what?
Angels in the Outfield,
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Heavyweights. Like we've been doing a binge of like old ones. We just did Angels in the Outfield. We're going to do maybe Rookie of the Year. Like, do you rewatch any of those?
Yeah, Sandlot is one of those like really just epic movies. I actually just rewatched that on the plane from Paris back to San Diego.
There you go.
Because I saw it was like on whatever the screen. It's like, whoa, Sandlot, yes.
There you go. Yep.
But yeah, Like Mike is another good one. I don't
Oh,
know if
yeah.
it's 90s, but
Okay.
Early 2000s, but it's still good.
Yeah.
Still
It's
good.
close. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
close. All right. I just like to ask these.
Rudy's another good one.
Oh,
Rudy.
yeah, Rudy.
Okay. Yeah, look at you. You love sports movies, I would assume, or no? Some sports folks don't like watching the sports movies because they already get enough of that shit during the day.
No, Miracle's probably the best one, but yeah, no, I love sports movies, sports documentaries. Also a big true crime fan. That's another weird. Of course I am.
Of course.
Yeah, another weird comfort movie. I can fall asleep to a true crime podcast. Yeah.
And she was stabbed 87 times.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's me. I'm that person.
Yeah, I'm that person too, just doing the stabbing. So As we pivot.
I'm calling 911.
Well, I know the sheriff, so he's in on it. I'm going to pause. That is not true at all. I do not know the police. As a brown person, I don't know a lot of them. So, the reason why we asked about the movies that you like is because you're right. Folks with anxiety or ADHD tend to rewatch the same things over and over because it brings comfort, because you know exactly what's going to happen and when. There's no anxiety about it. You can also replay it, and it's very peaceful in the mind because it's like soothing your nervous system. Folks that are autistic love to rewatch the same thing. I've got some clients that listen to the same song 50,000 times until it burns out, and then they go to the next one. So folks with anxiety do that as well, because there's just something about the pitch, the movie, the scenes, the aura of the human that is just comforting. We've already talked about it a million times on the podcast, so we'll skip over that. But thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. So do you have any mentors or people that have really influenced you throughout your life? Not just on the rugby field, but just in life in general.
Humans.
Yes.
Humans. Well, my parents are a big one. I feel like that's probably a basic answer, but yeah, I have a great relationship with my parents, and I feel like they did a really good job of letting me do whatever I wanted to do, never pressured me into one niche or another. Yeah, I was able to do musical theater and soccer and, quiz bowl and all this stuff. And they kind of let me specialize on my own, which I think was really helpful and just gave me a more rounded perspective on things, because that meant I had a lot of different friend groups and got to hang out with people I might not have hung out with or otherwise. So definitely them.
Dope.
Yeah. Other people, I have a lot of military mentors that helped me in my military career. Major Man is a big one, who kind of was my English teacher at West Point and then has now become a professional mentor for me. And he kind of was one of the first people that I saw as like really chill in the army and goofy. And I was like, oh, you can be chill and goofy and be in the army? Whoa. So he was like the blueprint in my mind. And yeah, a bunch of other people. Naya Tapper for rugby. I've always watched her. So to get to be her teammate was like dream come true. Yeah.
A lot of dreams. Isn't that awesome to achieve
lot of
them?
dreams.
It's crazy to achieve them, right?
It is.
It's magnificent. Yeah. It's wonderful, but also terrifying.
Yeah,
achieving
it
dreams
is.
is awesome. But then where do we go? What do we do? It can leave a lot of questions now. Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Real quick. So you went to West Point, were you in ROTC when you were a puppy, or no? Is that not a thing at West Point?
West Point is an entirely military academy.
Okay.
So it's the United States Military Academy. So everyone there is Army.
It's just Army. Okay.
Army. Yeah.
And then did you play athletics there too?
I found rugby there. That's where I started my rugby journey. I played soccer my whole life growing up, and then I tried out for the soccer team at West Point, and they said, nah, girl, get out of here. You ain't good enough to be here.
Damn.
So I was like, fine, I'll go try another sport. And now I'm an Olympian. So, haha, soccer coach. No, I'm just kidding. No hard feelings to her. She made the right decision. But yeah.
Jeez. Fuck you, Jeff. I don't know.
My name is Jeff.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I just mentioned that because I wondered when did you graduate?
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
So it's interesting world, man. It's a small world. So I actually know an individual from West Point that may or may not have had contact with you, because I assume there's a shit ton of athletes. And it's kind of cool to know that I've like helped that individual and like gave them like therapy. And it's a small world, right? During COVID and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, and this is like, in management and all that shit. So it's kind of cool knowing that, it doesn't matter where you're at in the world. One day you may meet a person that probably knows that person. And you're like, I hope they treated her nicely. So I always hope I don't work with assholes, but this person was awesome. They were a good person. I just wanted to mention that because the world is very small.
It is.
Crazy. It's great. You were just in Paris and traveling, facing all these athletes from around the world with different stories and backgrounds and cultures, religions, ethnicities. And then you come back and then now you're back in your own pocket and you get married and you meet people and you're doing stuff and you're doing the Legos and everyone's engaging with you. Then Spencer randomly hits you up. And I mean, the world is such a small place and yet also miracles like every day. It's kind of cool to think about. When Spencer told me the West Point thing, I was like, you got to be shitting me. Like how? Small world.
Everything's connected.
Yes. That's why I have an anxiety. Go ahead, Spence.
Yeah. So I kind of want to touch a little bit about, so you, like you said, like you played soccer all your life, and then all of a sudden you get to West Point, and then the coach was just like, no, it's not going to work out. How did you take that negative experience and then turn that into a positive for yourself?
I definitely took a second, like that day when I got told no, definitely took a second to like feel my feelings, and you know, commiserate a little bit and let me feel sad and feel sorry for myself, because I think it's important to give yourself time to be sad about things. And then I talked with actually my counselor that summer. I talked with her and was like, what do you think I should do? I'm pretty devastated about this. I mean, I have this opportunity with rugby, but I'm not sure. And she was kind of the one that pushed me to just, you know, try something out, because it's not going to hurt to try something new. And yeah, the very next week I went down to rugby and pretty much instantly fell in love with it, because the girls were all very welcoming and it was a nice environment to be in. So yeah, shout out my counselor during basic training. Yeah.
There you go. You remember their name?
I don't. I was like only with them for 6 weeks. I know it was a
that's not that
British
long.
lady.
Okay.
That's all I remember.
British lady. Hey,
Shout out to the British lady. Shout out
to the Brits, you know.
Shout out to the Brits.
Got some tea.
Okay. That's pretty cool though. Was that your first time ever in counseling at that moment, or did you have it in the previous?
No, I've been in and out of therapy since I was pretty young.
Okay.
Yeah, dealing with anxiety and feelings and all that good stuff.
Would you consider yourself a highly sensitive individual?
Depends on what you mean by sensitive.
Emotions are right there on your sleeve.
Yeah, I'd say so. I would say I'm not sensitive to, like, I don't take offense to things very easily. Yeah. But in terms of
Emotions, love, connection, empathy, pain, joy, like all those emotions in these characters throughout the movie, those are like right there for you.
Yeah, I mean, my emotions, I can't hide my emotions very well. And yeah, I feel things very strongly.
Deeply.
I feel like I feel things at 200%. Yeah.
How long did it take you to get comfortable with identifying like that?
You know, probably when I was about like 22.
Okay.
My senior year of college. Because I think for a long time growing up, I've always dealt with anxiety and feeling things strongly. And it for the longest time it felt like my weakness, that, oh, everyone knows how I feel. Oh, I can't control myself. Oh, this, that, and the third. But yeah, kind of like Riley in the movie, I feel like I had this light bulb moment of like my emotions are ultimately my superpower.
Okay.
And a lot of my strength and determination and grit while playing rugby and really in life come from how strongly I feel emotions. And yeah, I think, you know, there can be a time where anxiety gets to a breaking point.
Yep.
And it's bad for you.
Yep.
in a moment. But a lot of the times I feel like my anxiety helps me to stay motivated, stay on top of things, like keep pushing myself to be better. So,
yep. And then it gets to that threshold, and then that's when we go down to like stressed out, like dying inside, versus that kind of euphoric stress that pushes us to do things, get homework done, turn your bills in. That one, that's the good one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Thank you.
I have one more and then we can get into the movie. And then if not, if you have any, please ask. But so a big surge in the sports community is mental health. I mean, Kevin Love being one of the big ones, but then all these other great athletes coming out and talking about mental health. What has therapy really done for you, not just on the field, but off the field as well, to kind of help you grow as a person?
Yeah, I think therapy has been big for me for giving me the tools to get myself out of those bad anxiety times.
The spirals.
From the spirals, because I think beforehand, anxiety can feel like you're almost angry at yourself for feeling so upset or so angry or however you're feeling in that moment. And that's when like the circle starts, where you're like angry about being angry or upset about being upset. And I think therapy has given me those tools to recognize when I'm getting to that point and bring myself back to the present, in both rugby and in life. And I think ultimately, therapy has also helped me in my interactions with my teammates too, and kind of recognizing those emotions in others and feeling more empathy in those situations. And whereas sometimes you can get upset at someone for their response, but when you understand like probably what's going on in their head isn't too different from what's going on in yours, it humanizes people. So that's probably been the biggest thing for me with therapy.
There you go. This is a joke. So you got, you got mental health issues, and your partner, your husband, still puts up with all your shit.
100%. No, that's like true though, because when my husband called my parents basically to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna ask your daughter to marry me," my mom was like, "Are you sure?
Oh my God.
Are you gonna be able to deal with Samantha at all times of the day?"
Mom, stop blocking me.
I know. I was like, "Mom, you're really trying to like not make this happen for me," and that's crazy.
Whose side are you on?
No, exactly. And even right before we got married, she's like, "You're sure? You're sure? She can be a lot." Like, Mom, please.
Yeah, better than me.
No, but Josh does like, oh my gosh, Josh is amazing. Like he's definitely one of those people that understands me and understands why I am the way I am. So big shout out. Big shout out, Josh.
Big shout out to Josh.
Shout out to Josh.
Shout out to all the men in the world actually not being pieces of shit. Shout out to a lot of good men out there, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to men doing the bare minimum. There you go.
Damn. Hey, shots fired. All right. Shots fired from Sammy.
Hey, no, facts. Shout out to man for just not being terrible. Okay, yeah.
I didn't say it was wrong. I just said she was shooting shots.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. The reason why I bring that up is because you, most likely, I ain't gonna put your shit out there, but like I've been working with a lot of humans in a long time. And when we are emotional, when we do have anxiety, when we do got a lot of shit and chaos going on, and we got some insecurities and some instabilities and highly sensitive, we look to like, who could love this? And so I love that you brought that partner, your friends up, your partner up, right? And I wanted to push you on that because many of the folks listening to this podcast will feel like no one will love them. They are not worthy of winning, of friendships, of love. Who would? I'm worthless. I'm no one. The belief is toxic. It's a whisper in their head that I am deeply flawed. And so you have someone this is proof. I can take this to my clients and be like, look, if this crazy white girl found a man,
God. You get to.
True.
you can't too.
It's true. And hey, if I've been in relationships before where, ultimately they couldn't handle it and they're just not the right person.
Handle it, understand it, right? Empathize with it, whatever it is, but they just didn't have it.
They didn't have it. They didn't have that special spark.
Madness
that my husband definitely has. So
everyone's got to have a little bit of madness, man. Especially if you're neurodivergent like us. There's got to be something there. Sometimes they'd be like, trauma bonds ain't good. Sometimes them trauma bonds is nice because they've been through some shit too, and you're like,
True.
You ain't gonna shame me because you got daddy issues too. Oh shit, come on over here.
Come here. Let me show you some love.
I make jokes, but I'm glad that you shared that with us. And for real, shout out to Josh. Thank you for being a good person.
Yeah. All right. So, do you have any more questions, Nas?
I'm good, boss.
All right. Then let's get into the movie Inside Out 2. Sploosh. Sequel to Inside Out
1.
Surprise. Sammy, do you mind giving us just like what is the second one about? I have no idea. I didn't get to see it. What is the second one about?
yeah, so the second one is basically Riley has hit puberty mode, and in her brain, in the work area in her brain, everything's changing. They're getting a new workstation, new emotions are popping up, and kind of just the main premise is how Riley is dealing with all of these new emotions and new feelings and ultimately navigating some big emotions like anxiety.
Yeah. Anxiety. Who else was in there? The big boy. It was like
So that was
embarrassment.
Embarrassment, ennui.
We call him Wee Wee.
Yeah.
That's what she called him. Straight up, that's what she called him in the movie, Spence. I swear to God.
Sure.
I'm not being a pervert. I swear to God.
Okay.
And what was the other
The
one?
the little blue character was like Envy.
Envy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Envy.
And I think that's it.
think
And
that's
then
it.
Nostalgia made a cameo, but she's not coming till later. The old grandma character.
Oh, I must have missed that.
No, I must. It was just like a little
Quick. I was hoping that
Quick
Bebop
scene.
guy or whatever, the Beboop or the elephant looking
Bing Bong.
Bing Bong Bebop
Bebop.
from Ninja Turtles.
Cowboy Bebop? What are you talking about?
That's from Ninja
Yeah,
Turtles. That's a
Cowboy Bebop.
wrong piglet. I was hoping he was coming back, and then he didn't.
No, he did. He
Nah,
did.
yeah, he's dead.
He died?
He made the
gone.
ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
All right. We can't never keep the chubby guys in these movies, man.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Embarrassment.
I saw him, but I got a
He's
feeling he's
plus
probably
size?
jacked under that hoodie, though. I bet he's jacked. It's a fat suit.
Maybe.
Well,
Maybe.
all right. But yeah, great explanation of the movie. Spence, we gonna chop up the first scene? What are we doing?
Let's do it. So, in the first scene, we see that Riley is really getting down on herself, right? She's saying that she's just not good enough, and it's quiet at first, right? It's quiet. And then all of a sudden, gets a little louder and louder. And then she hits one of her teammates, and then they go down and they're pretty hurt. And so, trying to ask you, Sammy, what was going through your mind during this scene? What were you thinking about when you see Riley and she's just saying, I'm not good enough?
And that first scene.
Yeah, I very heavily related to it because I think there's a point in time in almost every athlete's life where it can feel like your sport encompasses your whole identity. And it was interesting seeing anxiety, thinking she's doing everything she can to protect Riley, and then ultimately realizing that if all Riley feels is anxiety, her main identity is that she's not good enough. And yeah, I feel like I've definitely been there, especially with rugby. When I first started out in college, just feeling like every mistake, every, weird glance that teammates are having is about you, and just feeling like it's you against the world, is very relatable. And yeah, just the importance of not wrapping up your whole identity in one emotion or one facet of your identity.
Facts. I chose that scene, Spence, because you see like these little like markers, these little data points throughout the movie where anxiety is like taking the reins and slowly chipping away at this really strong identity before puberty. And so behind that is some scientific data that puberty, hormones, doesn't matter what gender, mess up a lot of things. Those things really in the haywire, especially when you start talking about like these main ones like testosterone and estrogen can really get in the way of some stuff. When it comes to anxiety, anger, depression, and then the body starts a lot of stuff. Friendships, that's when you really start to realize that your actions have counteractions, and then people start to think about you in a different way. So now you start to be paranoid. You start to assume, what are they thinking that I'm thinking that they're thinking that I'm thinking, right? You're playing these weird fucking games. And in that scene, you see anxiety taking over, and she's like, look, I done fixed her. And then she's like, I'm not good enough. And she's like, oh shit. I picked it because that I'm not good enough is probably one of the scariest things someone will ever hear. And it normally isn't from like family members or partners. It can be. Emotional abuse is definitely a thing in every community. But it's normally told to us subtly throughout society, throughout comparisons, social media, which we're going to post this on, could be a horrific thing. It's through comparisons with Sammy, most likely with teammates as well. We know when we're competitive, we're like, oh, we want to be the big and the best. But then we're like, oh, damn, well, she got 3 goals. I only got 2. You get in trouble, you get thrown out. If your grades are poorer than the other teammates, whatever, it metastasizes. So you see this identity of I'm not good enough. And then all I heard is my clients tell me that. And they told me that consistently today. And I was like, oh, okay. So what about this? And they're like, oh, yeah, no, I hate all of this. And I was like, oh, I'm glad you told me that because I thought you were good until you told me that. And it's just interesting on how in the movie we keep things so secret. So in the movie, one day this is going to come out. She has that little thing where she talks about the dark secret. Did you see that, Sammy? It's like and then he goes back into like the prison, the dark. He's like, it's not time yet. I'm like, oh my God. Who knows what that could be? I think some people thought that had something to do with their sexuality. I think that's what I read online. Who knows what that could be? But a lot of people they put on this face like Sammy's bright and bubbly and all that. You would never know that you had any issues at all. And then underneath, we see that mind's working and working and working and working. And sometimes it can poison us. And so that's why I picked that as the prelude to the next scene. So Spence, or maybe Sammy can explain it, but like Spence, let's get into this next scene. Let's have some fun with this.
Yeah. So I'll start it off and then I'll ask Sammy, hey, jump in there. So we see Riley and now she's in the penalty box, but all of a sudden you start hearing a heartbeat and it starts thumping and it gets louder and louder and louder. And then we can also see that she's now getting visibly upset as well. And as that's going on, we also see in her mind that anxiety is actually becoming more uncontrollable and can't stop. And then we see that all anxiety really wanted was to try and protect Riley from what's going on, right? And so, don't get me wrong, but and then we also see that Riley starts taking these deep breaths over and over, just trying to calm herself, trying to get relaxed and things like that. And we see that she's actually trying to take control of her emotions rather than letting them take control of her, right? And so you picked out the scene, Sammy. What about this scene really spoke to you? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've just been in her exact position in this scene. literally on a rugby field, making a mistake, and getting taken out and immediately just going to the sideline and having a panic attack. And for the longest time, I didn't know how to deal with that and get out of that heavy breathing cycle. You see her grabbing her chest, like you do that when you're like, I can't breathe. Why can't I breathe right now? And yeah, it spoke to me because I just loved how beautifully and like well done they presented what an anxiety attack can look like, and how she got out of it with grounding techniques and going to her friends for support and ultimately admitting like she wasn't okay in that moment. So yeah, I just see myself in Riley in this scene.
Was that therapeutic for you, or was that traumatizing because you had to relive those kind of experiences? Was that fun? Like, what was the emotions like when you first seen it? Because we talked about what came out was some tears when you first saw it, but afterwards, or like kind of during, like, was it validating, or are you like, oh shit, I mean, I must be a 13-year-old girl because I'm having these emotions?
Oh yeah, it was validating. And I think the way oh, I must be a 13-year-old girl, that's not true, because ultimately this movie is made by adults, and adults who probably feel these things all the time too. And I think even going online and researching the movie and seeing the response online is so many people, men, women, grown, young alike, saying, wow, like I identify with this movie so heavily. And yeah, it was so validating for me. It was like happy, definitely cathartic, like big tears, big crying in the theater, just feeling I felt so seen. And there was everyone was crying around me too. So I think we all felt seen in some way.
Did you know any folks that were in the theater, or was it just like random folks you were sitting with?
Oh no, Josh was sitting next to me too, my husband. And he was just like, oh yeah.
Was he crying or no?
Josh, did you cry during Inside Out too? Yeah.
The last scene.
He did.
He lying.
He cried.
He lying.
No.
That's awesome. That had to have been validating too then, if you're seeing all these other humans. So not only is this animated character, but you're also seeing other humans most likely feel those emotions. So that had to have been validating and like relieving.
100%. Yeah. And there was moms with their kids there too. And the moms are crying. And I honestly feel like this movie should be like mandatory to watch for everyone growing up, and really everybody, because it does such a good job of explaining, just like you said, Spencer, it's important for you to get a hold on your emotions, or at least acknowledge them, in order to be a better person, be a better human, and have just a better grip on what's going on in here. Because if you don't know, and you don't know anything about it, then the cycle just continues.
Yeah.
That shit can be wild, trying to figure out what's going on in their brain.
Yeah.
And I was talking to some students this week, and they're angry kind of at their partners because, there's some stuff going on, this and that. Pretty angry, pretty salty. And I said, you don't know what they're going through, homie. I said, I don't know your partner, but I've seen them once, and I can size people up pretty quick. And I said, they going through some stuff. Well, I've known them for a year. And I said, yeah, okay. Well, I asked them like one question. They damn near had a panic attack. So based on that, there's some stuff there that you don't know. Well, she don't never talk. Well, I said, you never talked either freshman year, jackass. So both of you need to work on it. Well, she should be better at it. I said, how are you going to ask someone to do something that you can't even do? You're talking to me now, trying to work on your emotions, cognitive empathy, love, affection, all of it, and you're getting better. Well, she should do it too. She's not ready. Not everyone is ready. And why do I bring this up? Because this individual, many individuals, a lot of men, if we peel back the layers and actually go into therapy like you did, do the work, do the introspection, it's terrifying. That's one of the most scariest things you'll ever do is go into your mind and actually pick apart those fears and like acknowledge them and work through it. Instead, we know that we do a lot of stupid things, anger, aggression. We maybe go lift some weights, which is fine. That's a good thing. But, or we do drugs and alcohol to cope and to cover. In recreation, that's fine. But if you're coping, that's not fine. And so when I was working with the Indianapolis Colts, I'm telling you the same thing, man. Don't be no cowards. As I hide behind the table when I say that. Like, don't be no punk. Ain't gonna hit me, motherfucker. But I wanted to bring that up. So you talked about earlier in the pre-production, emotional expression. So this girl's got a lot of emotional expression, but specifically there's that one scene where they put her identity back together. What was that like for you to see when she's like, well, I went from, I'm unworthy, I'm not enough, to like, I'm a good person, but then they didn't catch. And then when they rip that away now, right, that adolescent like innocence, now it's like her adulthood trying to form. Would you say that's how it was for you to kind of like love all these other parts of your identity? Or is that, and if so, has that been hard?
Yeah. And I feel like I'm still learning to love every part of myself. And I think everyone at some point in the day, week, or month does something they're upset about or think something they didn't want to think. So I'm still working through that. But yeah, that scene specifically, I think helped me to be validated in rugby is not my whole identity. Being in the army is not my whole identity. Being married is not my whole identity. I am a collection of all things that I do feel and think. And yeah, I think even the fact that all the emotions started to hug her identity as it's kind of going haywire and saying all these different things at once. It's like when you let go and you stop trying so hard to bottle things in and wear this like mask of I'm a good person or even I'm not good enough, and just let your authentic self shine through. I think, ooh, my dog's going to start on a squeaky toy, but yeah, I think that's helped me to feel a lot more calm, even in social situations, and just like kind of accepting, hey, I might say something embarrassing, but that's who I am. Or hey, I might not be everyone's cup of tea, but that's not my concern, that's their concern. So yeah, it was very helpful. And same thing, just cathartic, and it made me feel good.
One of the biggest turning points in therapy is with my clients, athletes, my students of color, Black and brown, folks on the spectrum, is when you finally stop shaming those emotional reactions like Sammy talked about. So you have the panic attack, now you hate yourself for deregulating. You have an intrusive thought or a feeling, now you hate yourself for having that, and you feel like you're always going to have it, and that can really suck. And so when you start to embrace those things and stop like fighting them all the time, it'd be very cathartic, very healing to start accepting, oh, maybe I'm going to be sad sometimes. Maybe I'm not broken and this is going to be like a little passenger with me for a while, but they're not going to be the biggest figure in my personality. Something I want to add to that. This healing vibe, this photo at the end, me and Spence talk about all the time, friendship, community. Earlier I asked you, I said, you got the blues, the post-Olympic blues, right? And you're like, yeah. What was the first thing that you said?
I said, I'm really missing my teammates. Was that the first thing?
It was.
I can't remember.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, especially these group of girls, I've never been on a team where I felt this accepted, even from day one. I feel like they accepted all that comes with me so quickly, and without hesitation. And ultimately, being in a professional sport, people are going to retire after this. People are going to go off and do other things and might come back. So yeah, the thought of like, I'll never have that same team again,
Scary.
has definitely been weighing on me pretty heavily, just because I love all those people so much. So yeah, I've been having major separation anxiety from my teammates. Yeah.
I see that as a magnificent thing. Horrible because it sucks right now, but magnificent because that's how good they were.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much love there was. You don't miss something usually that you don't love. I'm sure people will attack me because that's not true. But it is true in this situation. Why the hell were they so good? What was so different about this group of women? Well, you're like, they really love me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do deal with having those panicky moments like quite frequently,
Okay.
even still. I'm getting better about working with my sports psychologist and my therapist on dealing with those more myself, but I think the fact that they accept me when I'm goofy and joking around, and they also accept me when I'm screaming my head off on the field, like this is this was what needs to happen right now, and you guys need to. They're just never like, oh, what the hell? Like what's Sam doing right now? That's so weird. They're always like, well, that's just Sam.
Oh,
That's just Sammy.
she going full tism. Okay, I see you, girl. Full tism.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes
Hey,
I go full like in my head mode, and they always just accept me.
she goes
Which
like
I
in
love
my
'em.
mind. I think of Russell. What the hell did I just say?
Wessel.
Russell Westbrook. I think of Russell because he goes bonkers. NBA All-Star MVP, right? He goes nuts. I quite love it because it's passionate. People think he's a hothead, this and that, but he's not treating anyone bad. He's just very, very passionate. It's never derogatory towards his teammates, where some folks will get nasty with their teammates. I
like
love
Dennis
folks
Rodman
like that.
as well.
Dennis Rodman. Shout out to Detroit Pistons. Detroit in the house.
Shout out Dennis Rodman.
Shout out.
It's crazy. So they just accepted that's not common. Like you said, that's not common. So I'm gonna push this again on you. Are these girls, these women, what? They just more empathetic? They're just more kind. They're older. They're more mature. They're crazy too. Like I don't know what their parents. They're good. What makes them more loving than other humans? Is it just the experience being on the Olympic team, maybe, that makes people come together more? I don't know.
I think a big part of it is we have a really good team culture. That, you know, it's not that we're all forced to love each other. Like, it's not like we're all best friends and hang out all the time. But it's a team culture of, once someone is on the team, they're on the team, and there's no if and buts about it. There's no isolating or anything to that person. So I think team and work environment and culture is a huge reason that I think we all are the way we are, and that's thanks to our head coach, Emily Bidewell, for creating that environment for us. And I think I also just came from day one as my 100% authentic self.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know.
What were you thinking?
Exactly. I've always felt like, oh, I'm not good at first impressions. But you know, again, that's another thing later on in life you realize, oh, well, that's just people being embarrassed and awkward. Like, you're fine. So
what is your first impression for folks? What do you think folks? What do you think folks think of you first time? They're like, they look at you and they're like, bleh.
I think in certain social situations I can be, you know, come on really strong and like, oh, bouncing off the walls, and and that thing where you're like, oh, you're telling a story. I also have a story about that. Like, cutting people off. So I think I can come on as a lot sometimes, but yeah, I was that way myself from the jump, and I think my teammates appreciated my authenticity, and kind of just accepted it from the beginning, because I was like, this is what you're gonna get, and we're gonna be with each other for a long time. So it's just best if you learn to like it, maybe even love it.
Maybe even love it.
And it took some teammates longer than others, but I slowly chipped away at them.
You wear them down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
You wear 'em down.
You're like a
down.
symbiote suit. Like you take over the host. Like it's you now.
Exactly. Venom style. Yeah.
Full parasite. Jesus Christ. This is a parasite you're not going to pass.
Sammy Sullivan.
Sammy
Parasite
Sullivan.
that won't pass.
Destroying your etymology. I don't know if it's a word. It is a word. I just don't know what it means.
I think so. Etymology.
I don't know what it means, but it sounds hard to spell. That's magnificent. What you just said is probably the most terrifying thing that most humans can do, specifically on a sports team, in a professional sports team, is be authentic. It never happens. We never do it. We're never doing it on social media. We're never doing it in our relationships, our friendships. It's terrifying because what if they see you and you're not enough? Again, the whole thing with Riley. What if you're not enough? And so that stops us from being authentic. And it can be paralyzing. And you see her change her whole identity and leave her other friends. I'm like, no, girl, no. What are you doing? Why? Don't leave the girls that make you happy for these other girls that just make you anxious. So I'm glad that you did that. I'm glad that you spoke on that because that will definitely save a lot of women's lives. We didn't tell you about this, but our podcast is predominantly women. So it's 80% women, the demographic show. A good majority are going to identify as neurodivergent. So whatever that means under the umbrella. And there's going to be a high rate of women of color too. So again, everything that you're saying is definitely going to heal a lot of individuals that we talk to. Appreciate it. Spence, we done talked about these grounding things and she keeps talking about grass. So she likes playing in grass, touching grass, smelling grass. Like she just loves grass. Did you just go full Ray Charles?
Doing the mess around. Everybody.
That's that part there. You know, me and Spence talk about grounding all the time. What did that feel accurate to you, or what's up when she's touching the bench, hearing stuff? I mean,
yeah, very accurate. And I think that was another part in the film where I was like, did they literally somehow get into my mind and put it in a movie? Because that's definitely grounding is one of the, and centering, coming back to the present, whatever you want to call it, is a huge tool for me that I use when I do get into those panicky moments where I start to spiral and the breath starts to become hard to get back. And then you get so focused on, why can't I breathe? What's going on? And my athletic trainer, Nicole Titmus, shout out Nicole, has talked with me and my sports psychologist, Peter. And I feel like she's the one on the team that recognizes when that's happening, and will come over and start to get me to state, okay, what do you see? Name 3 things you see right now. What's the color of this bottle? Name 3 things that are green in front of you. Or what does the grass feel like? What are 3 things you can hear right now? And my sports psychologist, Peter, does that as well. And yeah, that's been a game changer for me to bring myself back to the present moment and almost distract your brain from the thought of trying so hard to breathe, to come back to that present time. So yeah, I think grounding techniques are huge. Breathing techniques too. For me personally, it's if I'm getting into that hyperventilating, is like trying to hold my breath and then push out, or take like shallow breaths in and then pause and go out. But usually that's not going to work until I've done grounding.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think grounding and techniques are really important, whether it's big panic attacks or even just in the moment in a game. All types of people use it. Like say you make a mistake and you're upset and thinking too much about the past of that mistake. Grounding techniques are helpful. Whether it's touching grass, high-fiving a teammate, something to bring you back into the present moment.
Some of the science will show that you're only trying to buy yourself 4 seconds. So we have that emotion. Only lasts about 4 seconds, but then we keep hitting that damn button. We're like, oh, look at this button. What's this do? Sadness. Oh, what's this button do? Panic. Well, what's this button do? I hate myself. What's this button do? Oh, I suck. All my teammates hate me.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is buying yourself time with grounding, and then you can do the deep breathing to fully come back down. You know, maybe it works for you, but not everyone's going to go from like a 9 panic down to like a 3. But if we can get you down from like a 9 to a 7, 9 to a 5, you know, now you're not going to, metaphorically kill anyone. Now you're not going to like lose your bananas. What movie was that we reviewed? And it was the soccer game with what's the soccer one on Apple called? The famous one.
Oh, Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso. Didn't one of them have a full-blown fucking freak out on the sideline? Who was that? Was that the coach or a player?
Yeah, that was Ted.
The coach.
That was Ted. It was a full-blown anxiety attack.
Yeah, puts his hands in his pockets. Yeah.
Wasn't there another one where someone loses their anger though on the sideline? Yeah, no, it was the little guy. It was the little guy gets angry.
Oh, Roy Kent.
Yeah, no, the coach that betray him, the little Indian dude. I don't know.
Oh, Nate.
Oh, Nate. Yeah.
Doesn't he have a full temper tantrum on the sideline? I think it happens when he's coaching.
I think it happened after the game mostly.
Okay, it was after the game. Oh, it was after the game. That's right. He always freaks out after the game. So even in those moments, anger, sadness, is too much. Maybe your brain's bebopping around too much and you can't focus in class, or you can't focus on what your teammates are saying. Your coach is going over something. You're losing your focus when your partner's just trying to have a conversation with you about this random thing that you messed up, but now you're like, I'm the worst person ever. And they're just like, chill. And you're like, how dare you tell me to chill? Why are you telling me to chill? I'm chill.
Yeah. Last thing you should do is tell someone to calm down. Don't do that.
Calm down, Sammy.
What?
Don't throw your Legos at me. Hold on now.
Wait a minute. He likes that.
All women with their emotions, all big and stuff.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, I'm not a piece of
I
shit.
have to go.
I swear to God, I'm not a piece of shit.
And ending the call.
Yeah, it's been good knowing you. Mask off. No, I say these sarcastic things because that's what people are going to say. Based on your identity, if you're a woman, you're going to be these derogatory things that we put women in. I'm going to say some profanity things for your fans. For you, don't listen. But people will call you histrionic. They'll call you crazy. They're going to call you a bitch. They're going to call you mean. They're going to call you a nasty woman. I said that with emphasis because that's what people have been saying for the last few years. So which is messed up. And if you're a person of color or a dude like me, you're going to be called a thug. You're going to be called toxic. You're going to be called aggressive. You're going to be called a bully. You're going to be called an assaulter, which some folks have called my folks, my ethnicity, my race. So you're going to be called these things and people are going to watch you and judge you. So someone like me, Sammy, when I'm at work, I can't act a certain way. I got to act very cuddly and nice and like effeminate. That way I don't scare anyone. Right? The other day on this intake form, it says young woman, magnificent woman, but it says prefers female clinician. And I was like, what the hell? Why did they put you? So I walk out in the front room and I'm like, hi. And I'm like super anxious. I'm like walking, like trying to suck in my stomach and like get small. I'm like, just look 250 pounds, not 350. And then she walks in like very scared and timid. I'm like, I swear to God, I'm nice. I swear to God. And she's like, yeah, this actually isn't that bad. I was like, oh, thank God. I said, what was your first thought when you saw me? She's like, you's a big ass boy. Word for word, you's a big ass boy. I say this because this code switching that Sammy's had to do, that most oppressed folks, women, folks of color, queer individuals, is a son of a gun. And what does it do? It makes you feel like shit, and then no one gets to know who you are. So this end scene, we see this grounding, get you back to reality, get you back into the game. But then what was the key thing that Sammy was talking about? What was the thing that gave her the most love? The thing that what you're really missing right now?
Oh yeah, going to her teammates and letting her teammates know she wasn't okay, and her teammates just accepting her, like, and her teammates going to ask if she was okay in the first place. That's the biggest thing.
I was talking, Purdue has a pretty big military connection, and I was talking to the cadets the other day. So I had to talk to every single class in the Army and the ROTC there. And I got a bunch of kids to come. It was magnificent. Bunch of kids to come into therapy. And I was saying, you want to talk about suicide prevention? I said, just check in on your homie. Huh? You ask them how they legit doing. I'm fine. Fine doesn't ever mean fine. So if they say that, you sure you're good? I noticed that, you've been sad or isolating. I noticed that you've been like running off to the bathroom with panic attacks. I noticed that maybe you've been angry. I noticed that maybe you've been drinking too much or maybe smoking too much. Something's different. Doesn't matter what gender. Well, the lieutenant, shout out to Lieutenant White. Cool as shit. Thank you for having me in there. Definitely already saved about 3 lives. Thank you, Lieutenant White.
Nice job, Lieutenant White.
He wasn't a good one. And I told him in the middle of the meeting with the freshmen that I've already had multiple people like sign up. And I said that one of the sergeants gave a speech about made his best friend in life was when he was in freshman, sophomore year, and he was going through college. And I asked him, do you think that saved your life? He said, 100%. I said, why? Because no matter what happens, I know he's got my back, and he's had my back for 15 years. I looked at everyone. I said, remember that. The connections that you make now could have been saving your life. And I said, why'd you like the guy? He said, because they teach us to be all in. So I took it literal and was all in with my boys. And I said, okay, not everyone can do that. Usually it's something about that person like you. It's something about that person that draws you in. I just wanted to put emphasis on that. All right, Sam, we're getting ready to let you out of here. But there was one thing that you wanted to talk about that you didn't want me to forget.
Me?
Yeah, it was you. Who the hell else is Sammy on this podcast?
What?
One thing. Oh, yeah.
13.
Sorry, it's been an hour and some, so.
You're good. I was
forgot.
fucking with you. I did not expect you to remember anything.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, I'm completely.
Am I supposed to remember something?
No. You talked about making sure, yes. You're making sure that folks know that it's just not these little kids, specifically like girls, going through this, that everyone has these damn emotions. You touched on it earlier. I just wanted you to touch on it and then we'll get out.
Yeah. I think I identify with this movie, and I think a really important thing about this movie is, yes, it's about a 13-year-old girl going through puberty, but everyone in some way, shape, or form can see themselves in Riley. And you can see it in the other characters too. They go into the mom's brain, they go into the dad's brain, and the same sorts of things are happening. So it's just important to know, whether you're old, young, man, woman, non-binary, whatever your sexuality is, whatever your race is, like, everyone can identify with this little 13-year-old white blonde girl, okay? And
I knew I was a little white girl. Deep down inside, I identified as a 13-year-old white girl.
Yeah, Nas has that same little.
Oh, I do.
He sure does.
Spirit.
Hey,
so does Spencer.
I sure do.
I've cried so much on this podcast. They know I'm soft as hell. So.
Yeah.
Hey, nothing soft about crying.
No.
Even tough people cry. All right.
Hey, flashing the guns.
I seen that.
Damn.
Wait a minute. What state? You in California? You can't have no guns. Put them away.
Oh.
Put them away. They got gun laws there. Okay.
Oh. Okay. All right. Anything before we get out, Nas? Anything last words or anything like that you wanted to say?
Nah, man. I was just gonna shout out to Sammy for joining us. You did not have to join us, but we're not the massivest podcast. We got a decent little following. But to join a mental health pod that does visuals like this for folks that have what we call more hyperphantasia, which means we experience things more vividly, specifically through visuals, it's appreciated. Especially for this very marginalized identity folks that we work with. I can give you a lot of statistics on why we're so marginalized, but that would take up time. So much love. Honestly, your first impression is magnificent. It is a little bit anxious. It's quiet and coy, but you can see the goofiness, the smiles, the giddiness. You can see the little girl, the little child inside. Those are magnificent. And you lead with that. Because you have big emotions, I'm sorry that you struggle with that for a while of not liking that. That's the best part of you.
Mm-hmm.
As I told a young woman today, I said, the reason, kid, why you're so good, the reason why the letter you wrote me in the summer was so good and I sobbed is because it was real. And all the other random emails I get where I hope this finds you well, Nas. I said, girl, it was real. She said, you cried, didn't you? I said, girl, I can't even talk about it. I showed my father and cried, and then my father cried. So you're that same type of individual. Keep being who you are. I appreciate you, and thank you for saving lives today.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, as soon as you guys reached out and explained what the podcast was, I was like, yes, this is something I definitely would be interested in being a part of. So thank you guys for the work you're doing. And yeah, anybody out there watching, if you want to follow me, Sam _ Soul _ on Instagram. And I do a lot of Lego building and funny stuff over there. So
you got anything else, Spence? You had normally asked, you got anything else you want to plug? Shout out to friends, homies, or just like things you're doing, career things, or we know you're slinging Legos now.
Yeah. No, yeah, just follow my Instagram for updates.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, I'll definitely be following y'all for more updates and more podcasts.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Sammy. You were amazing. Thank you so much. Come back anytime. You have a free invitation. Any movie you want to do, just come back in. There you go.
Yay.
But yeah, thank you so much. With that, I'm Spencer. That's Nas, Different Spectrum Podcast.
All right, everyone. Much love. And always remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
That's completely up to you. Peace.